It aims to stimulate this process through the interactions and networking that are formed at local, national, and international events. As president of this growing initiative, I invite you to learn more about our diplomatic platform, international events, and the many ways in which your organization can directly influence the world. Your leadership is about to inspire and motivate nations in the world. It is an honor for me to welcome you into our elite network of global leaders. Dr. Jenny Lopez, Women Add Value originator, world global representative, influencing, inspiring, igniting, and innovating. So Dr. Jenny Lopez, she sends her love.
Amen.
Amen. So I want to begin acknowledging the honorees that are here tonight. And again, thank you all so very much. Thank you, family and friends that came to support them in this. I certainly want to, it was shortly after my husband and I started the ministry in Temple Terrace Perfected Love International Fellowship. It is important that when we go into an area to build, especially a ministry, we need to understand the different challenges that are going around in our neighborhood, in the city where we live in. Because if we go just to have church, then we failed before we started. Yeah. So it was very important to my husband and myself for us to reach out to the community leaders, to the chief of police, to the school board, to other government agencies to find out what the challenges are, what their concerns were, and how we could be a part of the solution. Amen. So one of the first persons that we contacted was an amazing young lady that we went downtown to meet, and she was really impressed, and she actually said, well, I don't really understand why you're here, because we don't have a lot of pastors that come to talk to us. And so again, we wanted to find out from her what were the challenges and how we could be involved to be a part of the solution. And so tonight, we certainly want to honor and recognize the former chief of police, Mrs. Jane Castor. I reached out to her on Facebook, and I was, to be honest with you, I was scared. I was just like, I don't know if she'll remember me. I don't want to invade her privacy, but I took the chance and inboxed her and reminded her of our visit with her, and also the things that we're doing with the chief of police in the Temple Terrace area. And so she replied back, and I asked her for her email, and she sent the email, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm on a roll. So I'm just so excited. I just want to read a little bit about her. Jane Castor joined the Tampa Police Department in 1983 and was elected the first female president of a police academy class.
Wow.
And that was just a precursor. Because in 2009, she became the first woman to be named chief of the Tampa Police Department.
Yeah.
Chief Castor has redefined community policing in her hometown and driven down the crime rate with her innovative approach to fighting crime. She retired in 2015. Over the course of her career, Chief Jane Castor built a reputation of working side by side with residents, community leaders, business owners, and neighboring law enforcement agencies to reduce crime and improve the quality of life in Tampa. Those community partnerships are the foundation of the TPD's dynamic crime reduction strategy. Focus on 4. Since its induction in 2003, the plan has reduced violent and property crime by 70%. Currently, Ms. Castor, you can go ahead and clap, absolutely. Currently, she has founded the Castor Consulting LLC, and she goes about consulting with other government agencies. She was recently down in Miami working with their police department, and just amazing things that she has done to not only transform Tampa, but many other cities across the nation. And so I'm so honored to honor her. Will you stand as she comes forward? to remember her name because it may be on the next coming ballot for something very significant. And that certainly may be that of mayor. And so we're really excited about that. Don't forget her name, Jane Castor.
Yes.
So our next person is an amazing woman. She is actually our spiritual mother. We met her a few years ago, and the first time we met her, the first words out of her mouth is, "Y'all look like my children." And so it began from there. And she has been such an inspiration into our life. Because in any relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's ministry, anything, you go through challenges, but she has really always been there for us, supported us in whatever we have set out to do. She has traveled to probably almost 40 nations, going about the world, ministering, equipping other people, has done an extensive amount of work in South Africa. She's a phenomenal singer. She has some CDs, and I think she brought some with her. So we're really excited tonight to honor Dr. Shireen Anderson.
Yeah.
She works in the educational system, but she is certainly a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
She is none other than our mama. So the next person, again, we reached out to various persons in our community to see how we could support them. And in our own Temple Terrace community, we have that is separate, from the Hillsborough County area. So there was the mayor that was there, and so we went in to talk with him. And so the first thing that we did, we found out what was his favorite dessert, so that we could take him a gift, because you never go in the presence of greatness without bringing a gift. Amen. So we brought a gift, and so he just fell in love with us. We fell in love with him. And shortly after that, his wife called me, and she's a part of an organization in the Temple Terrace area called the Temple Terrace Women's Club. And she invited me to come, and she also sponsored me to be a member along with Dr. Mel Harado. And so tonight I certainly want to honor her because she's a woman of great faith. She attends the Temple Terrace Baptist Church there in our community and has continued to be a significant light. She's a Sunday school teacher and has done that for several years. And so I truly want to honor her. When I called her, she was like, "Oh my goodness, I just can't believe it. I don't know what I've done." And so she has really continues again to be such a pillar in our community and continues to share the love of Christ throughout the world. They have various businesses, and it was so amazing because one of their testimonies is during the time that we went through such financial crisis in America and people were losing their jobs, her husband, Mr. Affronte, made a commitment to his workers that they would not lose their jobs, and he continued to pay them regardless of what the circumstances were. And so will you just give a hand of applause for Mrs. Liz Affronte? Very humbled, very poised, very beautiful, but very powerful.
Amen.
And so I'm, again, grateful for all of the people that God has placed in my life. And so I certainly want to honor this next recipient of the Women at Value Award. And she is the wife of Mr. Rory Lawrence. She has a PhD in psychology from the University of South Florida. She is a certified stress management coach. She is very passionate about helping others find solutions to their wellness challenges. She works with the School Board of Hillsborough County as a psychologist. She's over several different departments and working with the school board. Just an amazing, phenomenal woman. She and her husband, Mr. Rory Lawrence, they do a lot of theater, and I certainly encourage you to follow them and to really support them in what they do. They bring a lot of plays, and her husband is really a mastermind behind a lot of the different plays, In Between Calls. I'm sure you've seen it around, but just a tremendous blessing. And we just had the opportunity just the other day to kind of talk and to go over some things. And so tonight I certainly want to honor Dr. Kalila Lawrence for her contributions in education, her contributions in health and wellness.
Amen.
Her contributions. It's phenomenal. A fearless woman, a courageous woman. A woman of power. So our next recipient, I met her probably over a year ago. I was doing some community work, and I was very interested in the domestic violence movement because I had begun to meet several people that had gone through that particular cycle. And so in meeting her, she began to tell me her story. And she became a very strong advocate against domestic violence because she had endured domestic violence. And so she moved to a different state and almost changed her name, changed her identity so that she could remain safe. And so she has an initiative in an organization that she really supports, and that is Purple It Up. And so she's always talking about Purple It Up, wearing something purple, because purple is the color that represents and honors the women of people of domestic violence. Amen. So I certainly want to honor Miss Veronica Life tonight.
Amen.
She's walking proud. She knows who she is.
All right.
She's not what anybody else says, but she knows exactly who she is. She's an overcomer tonight. Amen?
Amen.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for standing strong. Thank you for not giving up. And thank you for using your voice to help others.
Amen.
Amen. Miss Wanda. Oh, okay. I'm going to have Miss LaTanya to come up. I'm sorry. Allison. She's going to get me for this. Because certainly I could not have done this without a team. God has given me such an amazing team of young ladies that have come to rally around me and supported me. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was to ask them for people that they wanted to nominate because of relationship of the things that they are doing in their communities. And so Miss Wanda Barkley was one that Miss Allison had recommended. And just in meeting her, just amazing grace on her life that have really begun to push forward. And so she's making a difference even in the educational system. She has various learning centers for children, daycare centers. And so I certainly want to honor her, but I wanted Miss Allison to give you some information about her.
Wanda Barkley is a phenomenal woman. Yes, she is. She has been an influence in my life for years, and I am just overwhelmed with her desire for children, teaching kids and raising them up and giving them the etiquette that they need to grow as, young adults. So we just want to give her an award tonight because we appreciate all the effort that she has planted, and she is in Orlando, Florida, and she has one of the largest child care centers there in Orlando with over 100 kids.
Can you continue to applause for this great, mighty, phenomenal gift that God is using to empower and equip our children, to cover them, to impart into them, that they will grow up to be the men and women that they've been destined to be.
Yeah.
Next, I want to honor this great vessel. That she does a lot in theater. She does a lot in the community. And her husband, he was a contestant on The Voice. And so just an amazing gift that he has. But she does a lot of work in our community, and several of the people that are part of our team nominated her. I would see her from afar and really admire the things that she was doing. I had the opportunity to participate in an event, a community event, and she was there as one of the panelists. And so just really amazed because she began to give the testimony of how she had to begin to learn to believe in herself and to know who she was. And so she really inspired the children, the teenagers that were there. And so I want you to really applaud Miss Tiffany Edwards. Miss Tiffany Edwards. Absolutely. And so I inboxed her, and it was a couple weeks, and she said, oh my goodness, I didn't see it. But she was so amazed that I had taken the time to really contact her and the people, Miss Keandra Ward, some of the other ones, and said, that was one of their first choices, to honor you for the things that you've done and continue to do. Your inspiration to many in your community. They look up to you. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your commitment, and thank you for your sacrifice. Certainly, again, I want you to connect with each other. Go and hug them, inspire them, support them in what they have been called to do. It certainly gives me great pleasure to honor this awesome woman that's here tonight. I met her probably 12 years ago. I was attending a women's conference in, I guess it was Clearwater. Isn't that amazing? So I was walking on the beach. Another person and I were walking on the beach, and she goes, hey, how are you? And so I had to turn around to see who it was. But God really connected us, and she does amazing things. She has a publishing company. She has been recently at Harvard getting another degree. So I'm so very proud of her. She had been on this accelerated program there in Massachusetts at Harvard. And so I certainly want to honor her tonight because she has really a heart, a global heart for people to really, for them to walk in their purpose. She's married to an anesthesiologist from Africa, and they have really done an amazing things in their community. And so I certainly want to honor Miss Julie Gibson tonight. She's strong, she's powerful. She's an advocate for literacy. She believes in literacy, the power of literacy, and she does everything she can to help you to put your thoughts, to put your story, to put your dreams on paper and in a book. And so I certainly want to honor her for all that she does in each and every one of our lives. Thank you, Julie. is a couple people that were here that were supposed to be here. They're still kind of on their way. One of our speakers, I think, flight got a little bit delayed, but okay, she's in Orlando, and so she's coming, so she'll be a part, and that's Mrs. Wendy Walters. I want to certainly honor this next recipient, a woman that has really, she is phenomenal. She has a consulting company and she's worked several years in HR, really goes in to strengthen teams, to really train, but she also has another organization, a radio show that she works with, and she brings people on, she highlights their books and the things that they do. And so we just did a radio interview with her just the other day in our office, and just amazing, just really down to earth. And so I would really love for you all to connect with her, get to know her, find out what she does, and how you maybe perhaps can work together. And so I certainly want to honor Mrs. Jill Capri Sims. She's from Orlando. Of course, she has a heart for literacy as well, and really likes to highlight people, to really recognize them for the things that they do. And so even in hearing my husband and I's story about how we met one day and 2 months later we got married, she goes, oh my goodness, that's a whole nother show. So yeah, I'm honored to be her friend. I'm honored to be her sister, and I'm honored to honor her tonight. Thank you for what you do. This young lady is truly amazing. She works at a Christian school. She really trains a lot in ministry, in ministerial things, in prayer, and understanding the components of prayer and how that works, to really understand, to help people to get to their next place and where they want to, in understanding God and how that all that works. And so she recently, probably in the last couple of years, she moved to Atlanta. And a dear friend has a lot of times will call us to encourage us. She and her husband are pastors, and so of course you understand what pastors go through and what they have to deal with. And so I'm just so honored to have them all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Ms. Shahrazad Daniels. Shahrazad Daniels. She works diligently. She works faithfully in helping people to be all that they have been called to be. And so I thank you for your sacrifice. I thank you for believing in others sometimes when they didn't believe in yourself, for sometimes going without just so that someone else could have. And so I honor you tonight.
Amen.
As I said just a couple weeks ago, I met her. I was in Macon, Georgia. I was attending an event of another recipient tonight. And so we immediately clicked. You know, it was just like a divine connection that happened. And so I'm honored tonight to honor this woman of God. She is a phenomenal songstress. She sings all over the world. She has CDs. And also she does a lot with television. She works with TBN. She also works with Atlanta Live. She had asked us to come, I think it's October the 5th, to be on Atlanta Live. But just an amazing woman. She drove all night. She and her son drove all night from Atlanta. She got here and she said, they won't let us through. Because some of the roads were closed, and she had got to the roundabout. She said, they won't let us through. She goes, I don't know what to do. She said, because I have to leave after the ceremony is over. So, you know, the management here were on the phone with her. She said, I don't know if I should just turn around. And then she thought about, she said, you know, I'm going to persevere. And whatever I have to go around, I have to go another direction, I'm going to make it.
Amen.
And so I'm so honored. I'm so honored to honor you, Miss Ruth Pauline Key, Dr. Ruth Pauline Key.
Amen.
one of the managers that was talking with her after she got off the phone, and they had talked for a couple different times trying to get her through, she said, whoever this woman is, I've got to meet her because she is amazing. She's encouraged me, you know, so thank you so much for your perseverance. Thank you for helping others.
Amen.
Is Kimberly Solomon here? Are we ready? One of the things that that is very important to me in honoring these women, I wanted to really focus on, in part of this conference, even at the luncheon tomorrow, we will focus on the 7 mountains that influence culture. That whether they be government, media, arts and entertainment, education, family, religion, all of those different things. And so all of you tonight, you represent some type of mountain, whether it's education with the daycare centers, whether it's religion going to the various nations, whether it's government, as Mrs. Jane Castor is a part of, and also with Mr. Joe Affronti and various other things. And so I really wanted to focus on these because I wanted you to see success. I wanted you to see that women that had gone through various challenges in life but was able to persevere, was able to endure those things in order to be a blessing to someone else. We're not doing this because we had everything together.